Welcome to October 2025 Proposed Service Changes Meeting. Aaron Xavier, our Service Planning Manager, is going to be walking us through the changes today. And my name is Shannon Benson. I'm on the Community Outreach team here at Valley Metro. I'm going to help facilitate. So tonight we'll start by giving a brief overview of the service change process. Aaron will walk us through the proposed changes. We'll review how to submit feedback in case you haven't done so already, and then we will open it up for additional questions and comments. For those attending virtually, you can ask a question by selecting the question mark icon on your screen and then typing your question in. You are also welcome to type questions or comments directly into the chat box at any time during the presentation, and I can read them aloud on your behalf. If you'd like to ask your question aloud, you can select the raise hand icon and I will give you the ability to unmute. Full disclosure, we are having some tech issues today, so I may not be able to unmute you this time, but go ahead and raise your hand anyway and we'll give it a shot. So we are currently in the middle of the service change process, the public outreach process, which started on May 12th and runs until June 13th. Approval from the Board of Directors is required for any Valley Metro operated service, and City of Phoenix operated service requires Phoenix City Council approval. City Council review is anticipated, Board approval is anticipated in August. And if approved changes do go into effect, that will happen on October 27th. Service changes can originate in different ways. They are regularly considered to help address the needs of our ridership, for people to get where they need to go efficiently and economically as possible. Service changes are determined through collaboration between Valley Metro and our city partners. The individual cities and towns typically have the best perspective on what their residents need, and so will make proposals accordingly. Input from the public is always considered and appreciated to help us refine and determine how those changes are going. As I mentioned earlier, the comment period will be open until June 13th, so you still have plenty of time to get your comments in if you haven't already. You can also submit comments during this hearing in the comment box or by raising your hand and asking them aloud. There has been messaging that's gone out via Valley Metro's website, social media, and emails, and then the physical signs at various affected stops. And with that, we'll turn it over to Aaron.
Thank you, Shannon. So for this first change, it is a proposed change in Chandler with the Route 112 serving Country Club and Arizona Avenue. And we'll be extending trips that currently end at Chandler Park and Ride on the southern end of that line all the way to a loop at Snedeker Sports Complex, as you can see in the map in these slides here. And that'll be a clockwise loop, looping back and then still serving that park and ride at Chandler. Chandler also has an addition to express service. The 542 Chandler Express will have an additional trip in the morning and in the evening to give a little bit more span and service to that express route serving downtown Phoenix. The city of Scottsdale will also have a change. As you can see in this map here, the Scottsdale Mustang trolley is proposed to remove the portion of the alignment on the southern end going roughly east and west along Via Linda, and just serving the northwest portion and then the deviation to the airport there. And finally, we have a proposed service change for the West Valley Express and Rapid services, specifically routes 562, 563, 571, 573, Gale and I-10 West, rerouting to downtown Phoenix. Both options here shown, option 1 in purple, option 2 in green, both serving additional bus stops at 3rd Avenue. And so I'll briefly trace those two options here. So option 1, we have coming from I-10 inbound in the morning, south on 5th Avenue, east on Van Buren to serve a stop by the intersection of 1st and Van Buren, going south on 1st and west on Washington Street to serve a stop on 3rd, just east of 3rd Avenue and Washington, continuing west on Washington all the way to the Capitol. And in the PM outbound service, that'll be starting at the Capitol and going east all the way to 2nd Street. Along that line, there will be another stop added there again at 3rd Avenue, just east of 3rd Avenue and the Jefferson intersection. Going to 2nd Street, north on 2nd Street, then west on Washington, north on Central to serve the stop there by Chase, and going north still on Central to Fillmore, where it'll turn west, then north on 3rd Avenue to the I-10. For option 2, that'll actually be coming in from the I-17 in a bit of a reverse run from what I've described, more or less. So in the morning, it'll be coming in from I-17, go down Jefferson Street, past the Capitol, all the way to 2nd Street, turning north on 2nd Street, west on Washington Street, north on Central, to again serve that stop by Chase, and then east on Van Buren, with a stop right there next to Arizona Center at 5th Street, where the route will end. In the PM outbound service, that'll start at the intersection of 3rd Street and Taylor Street, go south on 3rd, then west on Van Buren, to serve a spot at the intersection, the northeast corner of the intersection of Central and Van Buren. It'll take a southern turn on 1st Avenue, then turn west on Washington, where it'll again serve that new stop at 3rd Avenue and Washington, and then continue west all the way to I-17, and then get back on the highway. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So as mentioned, there's still time to submit feedback if you haven't done so already. You can reach us online. You can send an email to the input address, and that's available all year round. That is input@valleymetro.org. You can complete the online survey via the website, which you can find on the service changes page. You're welcome to submit an official comment during this hearing by either writing your comment in the chat box of the webinar or raising your hand. And you can, of course, contact us anytime via customer service or leave a verbal comment on our public input voicemail. And with that, we will open it up for any questions. So there is a question in the chat from Matt Dudley, and that is, will there be an impact to Route 575 routing?
Yes, so there will be an impact to 575. It won't be the same math that you saw on that slide, but the same general principle of not traveling any longer on Adams and going on that essentially that 2nd Street alignment will be the case, though we think that that will still occur down I-17, so there won't be an option for that one. So essentially that's why we're not calling that proposed at this time. We're essentially not able to operate any longer on Adams Street, so that will be changing. So as the time draws closer for that change, we will be reaching out to folks with rider alerts and things of that nature to communicate that change.
I have some comments from John in the chat. His first comment is downtown Phoenix routing. Option 1, as that would keep travel times reliable from using the HOV lanes directly. Option 2 would make the route straighter, but weaving can cause delays. Route 112, great that service is expanding in reach, but since all trips will be extended to Snedeker Sports Complex, what will happen to the Route 96 service? Mustang, oppose the shortening of the route to Via Linda and 90th Street, as that would leave people going to the Via Linda Senior Center with one less choice to travel. Route 685, moving the Ajo endpoint to a more central location in town will make it easier to reach. Did you want to answer the question about Route 96, Aaron?
Yeah. So currently we will not change the Route 96 service. due to anything happening with the 112, so that'll remain unchanged. And the 112 will essentially just be adding service to that area. I think to your point on the first, the downtown Phoenix routing, the HOV lane, I know that we've tried to see, what would it be like? Because obviously, you bring up a good point about the operations, that there is a direct HOV off ramp currently for the option 1, whereas option 2, going from I-10 to I-17, there's no direct HOV, which the buses prefer to operate for obvious reasons in the HOV lane. So that may present a bit of a challenge, possibly adding a minute or two of added time because of that as well. So your point on the Mustang is noted in terms of losing the access to some of the services along Via Linda, as that is quite a considerable cut to that service. And the Route 685 change is actually being postponed now to January. So as it stands in October 25 service change cycle, that's been removed. Though we do definitely prefer to have the stop for that route at the end of line moved to a more central location than it currently is. So that is still tentatively on the books, possibly for January 26, but not for October 25 at this time. And I think also just to note a little bit more on that, so the 96-112, essentially for those that don't know, the 96 also makes a loop at that similar area. So it's not like we're going to swap one service for the other at Snyder Sports Center or a complex rather. They're just going to complement each other, so you'll actually be able to make a transfer if desired. But we're not going to take 96 service away from Snyder because we're adding a service to the 112. So both of those will serve that location. And yes, that's a good point. We will update the web page. The 685 was a fairly recent development. I think we only just removed those like today or yesterday, so we'll be sure that the website gets updated as well for that change.
I have another comment from John in the chat. He says, another thing about the Mustang, if its current alignment is retained, consider changing the southbound destination signs from south to Via Linda Senior Center to add via Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard and Via Linda after that. Not mentioning service east of the Senior Center confuses people on where it goes, kind of like the Mercury eastbound saying Escalante Center, despite going further to Victory and Evergreen than looping back to Escalante.
Thank you, John, for that comment. We will discuss that with City Scottsdale. We understand that that can be confusing, definitely, as we usually like to refer at least to the end of line, as you know, for a lot of the signage, just to avoid that kind of confusion. So we'll definitely take that into consideration if the current alignment is retained.
I don't see any more comments or questions in the chat, so we will go ahead and wrap up the meeting. Again, as a reminder, if you still have comments or questions, you are very welcome to submit those via online or the survey. You can also call and leave us a message. A transcription and a recording of this meeting will be posted on our website and our YouTube page. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or comments. Thank you and have a great evening.